All right, assalamu alaikum, and welcome to this free guide on 7 steps to boost and fix your testosterone levels after Ramadan if you fell into low testosterone. This happens during Ramadan. I'm just going to open up my slideshow here. There we go. Free tests can be affected, total tests can be affected. Your overall health, body composition, and body weight could be in a bad state post Ramadan. So we're going to go through 7 steps on how to fix this. First, we need to understand the 7 big reasons why men's testosterone levels go down in Ramadan, and then we'll understand how to implement the solutions for each of these, right? So, the first big reason why your testosterone may have declined by as much as 15% just out the gate, actually by potentially up to 30%, because it's not just 1 week of sleep deprivation, it's multiple weeks. 1 week of sleeping 5 hours a night will lower your test by 10 to 15%. A whole month, if you extrapolate it out, is going to be about 15 to 30%. Okay, so let's say that your testosterone level was 500, this is going to lower your test by 150 points down to 350. If you were already at 350, it's going to lower it to the 200s. If you're already in the 200s, it can lower it even more. So again, we really want to make sure we fix our sleep. We're going to talk about that and how much you need to sleep and how to improve your sleep quality as well in this video, right? Second one is chronic stress and overwhelm, right? So chronic stress, cortisol, this can definitely lower your testosterone levels significantly. And this is why a lot of guys' testosterone goes down as they get older, not just because of the natural decline related to aging, but also because we take on more stress with kids, work, business, everything else, right? And in Ramadan, we have additional stressors. And number 3 is weight gain. Now, if you've been gaining weight for a while before even Ramadan, then this is part of why your testosterone levels were already getting lower and lower before Ramadan. And now you might be feeling even worse. A lot of the side effects of low testosterone because you might have gained even more body fat if you fell into bad eating habits during Ramadan. Body fat has 2 mechanisms by which it can affect your testosterone levels. Number 1, your body fat produces inflammatory cytokines, which increase your inflammation, and this can have a negative effect on your testosterone, your overall hormones, everything. And on top of that, body fat has an enzyme called aromatase that converts testosterone into estrogen, and then that estrogen binds to your hypothalamus and suppresses the signaling to produce more testosterone. So it's a vicious cycle. It increases estrogen, lowers testosterone, and causes a lot of side effects that you may be experiencing, like low energy, moodiness, irritability, etc., water retention, stuff that we don't want. Now, reason number 4 why your testosterone levels may have gone down in Ramadan is poor nutrition habits. So part of that is, if we're eating fried, bloating, inflammatory foods, a bunch of calories in one sitting, etc., this is going to stress out your digestive system, and all that chronic bloating increases your cortisol further, which feeds into this reason here why your testosterone would have gone down. But on top of that, a lot of times we're neglecting certain micronutrients like zinc and magnesium. Now, if you supplemented this in Ramadan, then great job. You probably did not become deficient in these, but a lot of people become deficient in these during Ramadan and may have already been so before Ramadan. In fact, vitamin D, I should have added vitamin D to that list. We usually don't get enough sunlight year round, especially in Ramadan. So especially if you have darker skin or you're brown like me, right? Your vitamin D is probably low. So another supplement to add to this list that I would just recommend supplementing because it's really hard to get it naturally and through your diet is vitamin D, right? Then it's very easy. There's no downside to supplementation. So it's really going to help you with your testosterone levels if you fix your vitamin D deficiency. If you're deficient in vitamin D, which I always recommend getting blood work to verify that you have low vitamin D or low testosterone, because you might just feel that way, but we actually want to do blood work so we know for sure. Now, protein insufficiency, a lot of people don't eat enough protein in Ramadan. Blood sugar volatility, when you're getting huge blood sugar spikes and crashes throughout Ramadan, this can definitely cause more cortisol. This can lower your testosterone. It can have a lot of negative effects. It can cause more body fat, etc. Now, reason number 5 why your testosterone levels may have gone down in Ramadan is maybe you lost consistency with lifting or you just never really had exercise habits in place. When you actually become consistent with lifting, so right after a resistance training session, your testosterone goes up by 10 to 15%. And if you consistently, without overtraining, but consistently, 3 to 5 days a week train, testosterone goes up by 20%. So very important, if you just fix your sleep, this can increase your testosterone by anywhere from 15 to 30%. If you fix your lifting, that increases by another 15 to 20%. So that person who might have been down in the 300s, let's say you're at 300, you could increase it by, let's say 30% plus 20%, that's 50%. I could bring you up to 450 already, and we haven't even looked at these other things that can increase it dramatically from there. When I actually fixed my vitamin D deficiency, my testosterone shot up by 80 points, right? So again, you could see a significant increase and get up to the 500s. If you're already in the 500s, it could shoot up even more, maybe even to 700 plus, and then you're going to feel amazing, inshallah. So again, we really want to fix this. Now, this one does not affect your total testosterone, but it affects your free testosterone. So there's a hormone called SHBG, and in chronic fasting diets and chronic low carb diets, these cause a chronic low insulin state, which you might think has some benefits, which it does. It increases your insulin sensitivity, it decreases your inflammation. There's a lot of benefits, but the downside is it can increase your SHBG, and that can lower your free tests. So We're going to talk about some solutions on this, but again, we need to fix this to bring your free test up so that more of the testosterone you have is bioavailable so your body can actually use it and feel it and get the benefits of it and fix the downsides of low test. And the seventh reason that testosterone can be declined in Ramadan is circadian rhythm disruption. Okay, so that ties in with sleep. If your bedtimes and wake times are inconsistent or all over the place, this can affect, your body's signaling of testosterone release at nighttime and your ability to actually do that efficiently. So now let's talk about the 7 solutions, right? It's very simple. Once we understand the 7 root causes, we can implement 7 solutions for that. So the first one is to sleep 7+ hours per night after Ramadan. Fix your sleep schedule immediately, right? And I'll talk about the circadian rhythm thing at the end of this list as well. Number 2 is scheduled parasympathetic time. So one thing that causes chronic stress is when we are constantly just go. We never give ourselves time to relax. So for instance, let's say that you're a business owner. Let's say that you work a lot. Let's say you have a demanding profession, right? You're constantly going, plus you got kids, plus you've been going to Taraweeh and doing all the extra ibadah, which is great. You made the most of Ramadan, alhamdulillah, but now you got to calm down your body. You got to let your body know, hey, I can relax, I can sleep more deeply, I can, produce testosterone, I can get back into reproduction mode, right? But if you're constantly in this stressed fight or flight mode, your body is like, okay, this is not the time to reproduce. This is the time to solve whatever problems I'm facing ahead of me because there's all this stress, all these problems I have to deal with. And that can cause your testosterone to go down and your cortisol to go up. So what we want to do is we want to schedule time that you can relax, time that you can quiet your mind, time that you can go for a walk. And I know that you're really busy to where the idea of having to schedule that time might even sound more stressful, but I promise you, if you can find a way to fit that in your schedule, even just 30 minutes of personal time and space, other than doom scrolling at midnight, that's not the time and space and relaxation I'm talking about, but it's something that a lot of us as fathers and business owners fall into. Don't be doom scrolling at night, messing up your sleep. That's going to lower your testosterone. Instead, program a specific 30-minute block during your day where you can go for a walk, where you can relax, not on your phone, but just either reading a book, reading Quran, remembering Allah, doing adhkar, relaxing, just chilling, even taking a nap middle of the day. These are all scheduled parasympathetic time that will make a significant difference. Very underrated habit that will improve your recovery, improve your cognition, improve your performance as a father because you're going to be more chill and in a good mood around your family instead of being angry and irritable and resentful all the time. You're going to be more focused at work instead of feeling burnt out and brain fog and all that stuff. So this combined with everything else makes a huge difference. So like I said, walks, have a schedule with rest program in, and then also rest days, right? So you're going to see when I talk about lifting, you only be lifting 3 to 5 days a week because you got to give your body time to rest and recover. Same thing with recovery where you don't work 7 days a week. Like I often work 6 days a week, but I try to really make sure I take, a rest day, whether it's on Friday, Saturday, or a combination of each. I try not to work after Jummah because I want to relax with the family and all that stuff because it really helps. And again, some of you don't have a flexible schedule, but at least those of you who work a 9 to 5, you get, Saturday, Sunday off. But those of us who are business owners, force yourself to take a rest day or 2 per week, only work 5-6 days a week max. And I promise you, it's going to be well worth it. Working 7 days a week just grinds you to the point where you lose your sharpness and your testosterone, which is part of what's connected with your sharpness and all that. So we need to fix that. Okay, so the third step is you need to lose body fat. You need to get under 15% body fat. Ideally, if you can get to 10% body fat, you're going to see your best testosterone levels. I don't have a picture of him here, but if you go into my YouTube channel and go to Client Testimonials playlist and you look at Brother Farhad, so when he started at 210 pounds and over 20% body fat, his testosterone was only 380. By the time that we worked together for 6 months and he lost 32.6 pounds, got down to 177.6, and lost all that weight in 6 months. He got to 10% body fat. His testosterone doubled to 680. I'm actually going to pull up a picture just so you guys can see. Literally, it's a very profound. I should have put it in here by default, but I need you guys to see this because literally it's pretty crazy how big of an impact it can make once this thing loads when you get down to a sufficiently low body fat. So here's Brother Farhad, right? As you can see, 380 testosterone, but now he's absolutely shredded. MashaAllah, Allahu Barak. He's even more shredded than this now, right? So he's been able to maintain and continue to see progress. And here his testosterone was 380. Here his testosterone is 680. So it almost doubled. MashaAllah, Allahu Barak. So again, just wanted to show you guys that. Very important that you lose body fat. So I'll link my other guide on how to lose 20 plus pounds in 90 days after Ramadan after this. So you can obviously implement that because it's going to dramatically improve your testosterone when you get to a sufficiently low body fat. If you're over 20% body fat, no wonder your testosterone is low. If you get under 15%, it's going to make a big impact. And if you get to 10%, you're going to see ideal testosterone levels. Now, but don't go under 10%, otherwise that can actually negatively affect your testosterone. There's a sweet spot, right? 10 to 12% body fat is the optimal testosterone and insulin sensitivity and health range. Now, fix your diet. High micronutrient intake, right? So we want to get zinc and magnesium in our diet, but again, I just recommend supplementing this. Same with vitamin D. Take a good vitamin D plus K supplement. It's just going to make things way easier for you and it's going to be well worth it. And then As far as our macronutrient ratios, I talk about this in the How to Lose 20 Plus Pounds in 9 Days After Ramadan guide that I'll link after this, inshallah. But 40% of your calories should come from protein, 40% from complex carbs, and 20% from healthy fats. A big mistake I made in the past, but I would bring my fast to 15% of my total calories, and that actually lowered my testosterone and caused digestive issues and all other kinds of problems. So, fats are not evil, but you also don't want your fats to be super high. Some people think, oh, I should eat 60% of my calories from healthy fats to get even more increase on my testosterone, but there's a limit to that as well. For me, based on my daily calories, my sweet spot with healthy fats is about 60 to 65. If I go as high as 80 once in a while, it's okay, but if I go above 80, it just becomes too much and it overloads digestion, and it makes me in a calorie surplus, and it can lead to increasing body fat. So I like to keep my fats in the 60 to 65 range. And again, that's going to depend on the person. Some clients have them in the 45 to 55 range, so it really just depends on the person. Now, lifting 3 to 5 days a week for 45 to 60 minutes max, 20 to 30 minutes minimum. Don't go above 60 minutes, okay? If you go above 60 minutes, it's actually too much stress on the body and it'll lower your testosterone. You're not a 22-year-old influencer with no kids, no responsibilities, no job, no business, who can just work out all day and is young enough with great genetics to recover from it. No, you are a businessman or a professional with kids over the age of 30. You got to make sure that you are being careful with overtraining and recovery and just hitting it for 45 to 60 minutes max. In fact, most of you shouldn't even train 5 days a week. 3 to 4 is a sweet spot for majority of you. Just don't go below 3, otherwise you're not going to be getting ideal results. This will improve your testosterone by a lot. And if you can't lift because there's too much haram at the gym, especially as you increase your test, it's hard not to look. I understand. You can also do body weight training and get a lot of the benefits of this, or you can get some home equipment like a lot of my clients do as well to avoid the fitna and the haram of the gym. But if there's a gym where there's not too much haram around, then definitely hit the gym, because it's nice to be able to hit the gym. But each of you has a different circumstance. Now, number 6, complex carbs throughout the day, 3 to 5 feedings per day. It doesn't mean you need to eat 5 meals a day unless you want to, but I usually recommend is 3 meals a day and 1 to 2 snacks. That way we get into that 3 to 5 range and we're keeping our blood sugar consistent. And it needs to be complex carbs like potato, sweet potato, whatever form of rice that you digest well, or if you don't respond well to rice or it makes you too hungry or whatever, you don't have to do rice. But you can try oatmeal, or there's a lot of different grains that can work well. Just don't overdo it, obviously, and be careful of any digestive sensitivities you have, like if you're gluten intolerant or whatever it is. But usually potato and sweet potato are some of the best ones for fat loss. But again, I have other videos where I talk about that, but that's going to keep your blood sugar consistent, help you have more energy, help you lose body fat, and help you to feel satisfied and actually stick to your diet. And of course, help you to lose the body fat, stabilize your blood sugar, and increase your testosterone, inshallah. Now, and it'll also increase your sleep quality if you have sufficient carbs in your diet, because it brings your cortisol down. And then the cortisol lowering also improves your testosterone too. So there's a huge benefit to having enough carbs. And when I was not eating enough carbs, I started to get low testosterone, ED, lots of other problems. So getting enough carbs in my diet actually improved my testosterone by a lot as well, alhamdulillah. And then get back on a normal circadian rhythm. So make sure you sleep by 9 to 10 p.m. non-negotiable for the next few months until summer. Now, obviously in summer and some of your guys' time zones, Isha might be after that, but do not waste any time at Isha. Even if Isha is at like 11:30 p.m., get to bed right after Isha. Don't waste time. Otherwise, you're wasting your testosterone in your sleep. And we're going to have to figure out a way to get naps at some point during the day in the summer, but let's not worry about that now. We don't have to worry about that yet. So let's just capitalize on this window where you can sleep by 9 to 10 p.m. and obviously, still have prayed Isha by then. Wake up after 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep for Fajr. Do that for the next few months until summer. Then summer, I'll probably make another video on what sleep cycle to have then to maximize your testosterone. But for now, you could really take advantage and lose a lot of weight and feel great and improve your testosterone. And then another thing, before sleep, I highly recommend magnesium glycinate, glycine, apigenin, and other sleep supplements before you sleep. But make sure you check with your doctor first. There's 2 sleep complexes I take. One is called like the night before 10-in-1 formula, which has all these in it. Another one is, I forgot what the name of the brand is, but it's called Sleep Complex. It has like something called Sleep Root. So I kind of alternate those, and it really has improved my testosterone, my sleep quality, my recovery, my mood, my focus, everything. So sleep is very important, especially as we get older, especially if you don't want to have Alzheimer's or dementia. Very important that you take care of your sleep, because so many of you have such terrible chronic sleep habits for years and decades. After you have your first kid, you get that newborn sleep schedule, but then even when your kids are 20 years old, grown up, you still have a bad sleep schedule 20 years later in your 40s and 50s. So literally, guys, you got to fix your sleep or you're at high risk of dementia when you're older. You don't want that, okay? In addition to testosterone while you're young and while you're old. Now, as I promised, I'm going to link the free guide on how to lose 20 plus pounds in 90 days after Ramadan, my free mini course on how to boost testosterone. I have a huge mini course with all the habits, specific foods, etc., based on sunnah and science to lose not only lose body fat, but improve your testosterone. And then if you want to skip the free stuff and get my help implementing this faster, I'll put a link for one-on-one coaching in the description. So again, if you want the free resources, I'll put the testosterone mini course here. and the How to Lose 20 Pounds in 90 Days after Ramadan here. And then for one-on-one coaching, tap the link in the description. May Allah make it easy and give you success. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.